Hi, this is the Human Operating System time. So, I often get questions from our Wing Chun friends about, is that true that as soon as one keep practicing Xiu Lim Tao and one will get it? So the teaching is like keep practice Xiu Lim Tao until one get it. Is that true? And another one is you study the philosophy and mimic the movement of Xiu Lim Tao, and one will develop internal power if one practice long enough. So this type of questions I often get from our Wing Chun friends. So today I want to share with you what is the reality. Okay, this might be popular, but what is the reality? Let's take a look. Now, we know this is Buddha, Shakyamuni Buddha. Well, the Buddha, if you read the history of the Buddha, the story of the Buddha, he has to go study with different teachers for years before he can develop his own. Okay? And also, this is the sixth patriarch of Zen. This is the sixth patriarch of the Zen. He have to go to the fifth patriarch of the Zen to study, even though the sixth patriarch is a genius. Okay? So from this, from the Buddha to sixth patriarch, which is the top enlightenment people, we know that talent cannot substitute for educations. The Buddha has to go study with different teachers, different guru for years before he can find out his own directions. And the sixth patriarch has to go to the fifth patriarch, even though he's a talented and he seems to have a clue of what is going on when he reads the sutta. Okay, still he has to go for the formal training. Okay, so we know that talent cannot substitute for educations. The entire thing of the Buddha and the sixth patriarch, the Zen and all the Qigong, all this stuff, martial art stuff of ancient China, it is a technology to face the reality. It is a technology to face the reality. Enlightenment is a reality. Fighting is a reality. Health is a reality. It is not a philosophy or some, like a creativity games. I can put my 5 cents down. You can put your 5 cents down. Those kind of stuff. And it is not a choreography. So the real life is a technology. And if one get the technology straight, one be able to face the reality. Philosophy, creativity, games, and choreography is nice. However, it is not what it is. Okay. So basic educations, meaning that one need to know the model, the process steps, the verifications. Okay. This is in today's language, but it exists since the Buddha's time and the sixth patriarch or fifth patriarch time. If the six patriarchs do not need model, process, and verification, he doesn't have to go to the fifth patriarch of Zen. In fact, anybody who think he get enlightenment, he or she need to go to a patriarch, a Zen patriarch for verifications. Okay. There's a rule until today. It is not what we all commenting or Zen this, Zen that, you enlightenment, I'm enlightenment. It's not those stuff. Okay. Now, so the real secret is the proper education. There is no secret. The secret is the proper education. Meaning one need to know the model, process, step, and verification. Even the Buddha have the Bodhidharma. And the Bodhidharma has to transfer down to this fifth patriarch and the sixth patriarch to learn it. There's a model, process, step, and verification in today's words. Okay, And this is 1,000 years ago. Well, look at, Bruce Lee, say, just ask the question, does Bruce Lee commit to lifelong continuous study? Look at his life. Did he go study different stuff before he can form his own or create his own Jeet Kune Do based on reality? So this is real life, okay? It is education. It is not something which is, it is never just a collection of empty words or beautiful sound, deep philosophy or someone's guessing or belief or opinion. It is not. Maybe, I think so, I believe so. It is not that, okay? If you look at even like in Zen, this is the Zen model. This is the 8 steps to enlightenment, okay? This is a model. And then there is, every step there's a verifications where one is. So you see the model, the process step, and verifications. We need to be really clear on this. This is really serious stuff, okay? So Zen is not just, oh, I enlightenment, you enlightenment. It's not that. It is much, much more than that. And also, if you look at the Tibetan, the practice of the meditation cultivations of you see all this is model, okay? This is process steps. And each step you have to have a verification, otherwise you don't know where you are. So that is the reality. This is the reality, okay? So we must not just keep thinking philosophy, who say what. No. If there's no process steps, there's no model and verification, that means one doesn't have the art. So as in like in Wing Chun, the complete Wing Chun is not that important, because what is complete? There's a questions. But the basic educations, such as one have the model, have the process step and verification. Process step, of course, is for training and for different stuff. And verification, that is the key. Okay. Now, I want to share with you guys something which is it never been shared in the West before. Okay, it never been shared in the West. Yes, it never. You can go check anybody. Okay. And even in the Asia, it is very rare to know this, okay? So what I'm going to share with you is this. There is a book, okay? This is called Shaolin Martial Art Quid, or Shaolin Martial Art Secret Keys, okay? Shaolin Martial Art Secret Keys. Okay? Now, within it, it said, if you want to study fighting, you need to first study the unperturbed mind or unperturbed heart. Well, right away it get you into, can you take pressure? Okay? Can you deal with your own emotions? Can you calm down? So it said here, the first thing is, if you want to study fighting, you need to study to the imperturbable heart, meaning the heart will be stable there, calm there. Okay? Now, the second key is, if one want to study fighting, one need to study counting the breath. Okay? Counting the breath. Actually, this better to translate not as counting the breath, but the counting the pulse between breath. Pulse between breath, okay? So it is the pulse. It is the pulse between breath. Like you have the inhale, okay? And then you have the exhale. And then you always have the pulse here. Before you inhale, and then you exhale. Okay, counting that pulse. Okay, so it say here, if you want to study fighting, the first thing is you must go first study the imperturbable heart or mind, okay? Or imperturbable, very calm mind and so forth. And then the second said, if you want to study fighting, you need to study counting the pulse between the breath. Okay, now, guess what? Does unperturbed, no, not movable, unperturbed, not moving, staying still, heart. You know where it's from? This is actually the Zen practice. And this Zen practice, this so-called this unperturbed heart, or immovable heart, or still heart, is, you know where it's from? It's from Surangama Sutta. Okay, what is the teaching of the Surangama Sutta? And if you watch my previous video, now it is modeled into this B model in the previous video. Okay, so the imperturbed heart or unperturbed heart, or the staying still heart, is the true mind of the Zen. We are using the false mind. This will be perturbed. So the guy who want to train in this thing will have to know this, the Zen mind, to develop the unperturbed or unmovable, or the immovable, or the still heart, the staying still heart. So, if one have no idea what is Surangama, and one have no idea, like the model which is in Surangama, or the descriptions of the Surangama, where I make it into the model, well, tough luck. Okay, one can go, keep philosophy, all kind of stuff, guessing games, but one have no idea what it is. Okay, and thus one will not be able to train it. The same is, the second is this counting the pulse thing. Guess what it is from? It is from Liu Miaomen. Okay, so it's great that it's translated today. 6 Dharma gates to the sublime by the Samana Zhiyi, which is lived 1,500 years ago. Okay? So it's great that we have this translate today. And if you watch my other video, I have another, I mentioned another a book which is classic, which is translated to English today by who is the teaching of this Grandmaster Ji 1,500 years ago. Okay, is in my recent video. So that counting the breath, counting the pulse, is clearly described in details, models, process step verifications within this book. Okay, and that's why I model this thing in here, where you have to deal with your physical, your mind, your breathing, your energy, get from the intelligent world to the natural world, and how does transformation get through, where you have to have the breathing, your body fluid or chemistry, your energy. Now you want to talk about chi, prana, and then it's going to influence your physical, and it go spiral, changing that. And this is actually based on what? Is based on the Buddha's teaching, Anapanasati. Okay, this is based on Anapanasati. So, these two things, the unperturbed heart or unperturbed mind, is based on, we know, is Surangama. Thus, counting the pulse, we know it is based on Anapanasati. So both is based on the Buddha's teaching, Buddha Dharma. It is solid gold. It is not somebody's speculation or thinking. So now you look at that. If we have no idea this, we cannot track this to the root. Okay, we cannot track this thing to the root. Cannot track to the root. How are we going to supposed to get anywhere? So that's why I make all this model, because if we don't have these models, well, tough luck. We have no idea what it is. And so we can all sit down. We can all sit down, Google this thing, Google translate this thing, and sit down and argue for 1,000 years for your opinion, my opinion. And you know what? It goes nowhere, because we don't even have any idea of the strong Dharma, don't have any idea of this 6 Dharma gates. We have no idea what is this talking about. So how are you going to do anything at all? Okay? So this is how serious it is. Okay? The reality is this. Now, there's a reason why I put this thing out. Okay, that's why I call it basic traditional Chinese martial education. It is actually a common denominator of this stuff. If you want to be able to understand this, one need to be able to know the 6 core elements, 13 state, and this intentional regulating and natural resonance state stuff. Otherwise, it's hopeless, because we don't know what they are talking about. Okay? And also, like the short strike. Well, we say Wing Chun is a short strike art. And there are many short strike art there in China. Okay, so this is the Shaolin short strike. Okay, the Shaolin short strike. This is another type of 6 penetration short strike. This is another type of the Arhat short strike. All books there. So we can see what it is. It is not up for anybody's interpretations or anybody's claim or agree or disagree. That's why when I wrote the Wing Chun Matrix, we are using this, the Shaolin Short Strike book for as the base of the writing of the Wing Chun Matrix. Okay, my Wing Chun Matrix books, and because it intends to show the us today what is going on. Okay, so if you look at this thing, this say Shaolin temples monks, the drawing, okay, of his drawing, and they tell you the head has to be lower, okay, and then how is the butt has to do, how your hand has to pull, how your waist, okay, how your back butt has to do, how you shoot in, how you press in, and all this thing about the middle gate and so forth. Well, if we don't know this, what are we doing? What are we doing? And also, that's why in the Wing Chun Matrix, I map things into the physics, classical physics, impact, there's impulse momentum. So we know clearly how to describe it in physics, where impact force equal to change in momentum durations of collisions. So how you handle the collisions. You want to talk about short strike? That means you need to have a very short collision. You want to have a high impact force. You have to generate a momentum, like moving your body, and the durations of collision has to be very short, so you'll be able to have high impact force. Okay? Impulse momentum theorem. So it has to follow some proper data or material. We just simply cannot invent our own, create our own, and then doing anything with it and claim anything with it. We cannot do that. And so, again, if we have that, as what I show you here, if we have this, we know we can test it out, verify it with the scientific stuff. That's why I make on other video on it. Okay. So this is life. Okay, real life, real traditional Chinese martial art. It is not this. It is never this. Even though in general today people believe in this kind of stuff, I'm thinking that this is the traditional Chinese martial art. It is not. And again, I don't make a judgment of it is or it is not. I show you already what is the evidence there. Okay? It's not a judgment. You just have to look at what it is and describe what it is. So there's no against anybody. Not I am right, you are wrong, you are right, I'm wrong. No, you look at the reality and see what it is. Okay? Like this short strike. How are we supposed to argue when there are tons of books of short strike out there, and Wing Chun is said that to be short strike from Shaolin. So how are you going to follow that if you follow something else? If we are not following the Shaolin short strike common denominator, what are we doing? So this is to share with you today. Okay, I know this might shock somebody, or I usually, when I say I present or share something like that, somebody will tell me, according to my Qigong or my Shizhou or my grandmaster, it is this. What you say is a crap. Okay, I often heard people tell me this in the forum and so forth. Well, everybody is free for what they want to believe. However, my point here is to share with you what is going on there, and to share with you all these things can be tracked, as what I show you today. The Shaolin art can be tracked into the Buddha Sutta and Buddha's teaching for thousands of years. Okay, until we know that, we don't know what it is. Until we know the technology, we will not be able to verify ourselves with this modern technology. Face it. If you get Buddha today, you put the modern technology on him, he will show you he have the handling. And however, if we believe on this kind of stuff, there's a questions. So, will one willing to take the modern technology to verify what one actually practice? That is a good question. So this is to share with you today.